On my street, we have 50 people who voted for you the last time, and we're not so happy with what's going on. And we want you to come and tell us what your plans are going forward. You stood a good chance last week of getting an audience with that person. Try it a month from now. Try it early next year. Try it a year from now. Call them up a year from now and say, hey, listen, we want to have a meeting with you. All of you should. And see if it's going to happen. See if they're going to refer you to someone, or they won't take the call and you'll get a call saying, go talk to your counselor. They were auditioning the last 6 months or so. And you could have gotten anything. You could have gotten your rent paid. You could have gotten food on the table. You could have gotten, I don't know, money in your pocket. You could have gotten anything. And some of you did. Some of you did. But ask yourself this question. Will you be able to get those perks a year from now from that politician? Will you be? And if the answer is no, it's because you didn't hearken to the message. And what is that message? Here's the message.
Other day, I'm not just a citizen of Jamaica. As a citizen, it's telling you where you belong. I am more interested in looking at this problem through the lens of an owner. It is actually true that all that money in the bank belongs to us. All the government's assets that the Auditor General is talking about, this thing named government, is really the people's. That's the first thing. I'm an owner. The second thing is I have to look at it through the lens, not just of a voter. Yes, I said there's an election coming up. That election is actually a hiring mechanism. I am employing 63 public officials who have to step aside, and we have to revisit who. So if I'm employing them, that makes me what? An employer. As an employer, I don't have the responsibility of a voter. A voter has one thing they have to do really almost every 4 to 5 years, dip your finger. But an employer has to be paying attention what? Far more often than that. And the last thing is, I am not just a taxpayer. A taxpayer is the person who Parliament write a law and say, you have to give me this. I see it as I am a financier, because everything that the government is going to do, I am financing it, and I want a return on my money, because that is what a financier wants. So Jeanette and the team at JAMP sees themselves as owners, employers, and financiers. So when I'm a financier and I hear that Barita or whoever is fooling around with my money, I'm going to hold somebody to account. How are the citizens going to do this? How are you going to make your voice heard? There are many ways. And call me the fool that I be, but I've been paying attention to governance in Jamaica for 15 years. And I sat every single time the people of Jamaica lean in and say, it nah go so. It does not go so. So who is really at fault here? Is it the employee, the 63 parliamentarians, or the employers? They are waiting for us to lean in on this matter. And there are several ways to do it. And I'm just going to share with you one way that JAMP has come up with. What people don't understand, and you're young in this thing as a politician, I said, but I've had politicians, one in particular who has been in this.
Teach me.
These characteristics relates to.
And I'm afraid to say, I sit down having a drink with him at Acropolis one day. And he said to me, Jeanette, the people think we don't listen enough. We listen and we watch everything. I said, really? Him say, yeah, man. You think we don't watch it? You call a call-in show, we are listening. You write the editor, we are listening. You only think we're not listening. So I'm saying to the Jamaican people, find any way you're comfortable to raise your voice. But JAMP has come up with a way which I think ISAT could be a game changer. And I'd like to ask Will if he could just put
Thank you. Like I was saying, that's the message, but we don't hearken to the message, because if we did, the politicians, the employees, the servants would be held accountable. But we don't hold them accountable. What they do is they know how some of us think, and they starve you. And around this time, every 4 to 5 years, them release some goodies. And we're so thankful for small mercies that we take it and we jump up and down and we celebrate, not realizing that I get it again for another 4 years simply because of how you think. Simply because of how you think, you're not going to get it. But we won't stop preaching to our people. And I do believe that the message got across to lots of people. I do believe. And the message will get across to more people. But I'm a firm believer that the journey of 1,000 miles, it doesn't start with the first 100 miles, first 5. It starts with the first step. And we have taken that step, and we will continue to take step by step by step. Because we hear, we know, and we believe. We hear, we know, we believe. And nobody can take that from us. And so the message has to be transmitted across all constituencies, all parishes, all counties, all neighborhoods, to our family members and friends. And it may be slow, but it won't be forever. I look forward to the day when communities will stand up and tell the politicians what to do, instead of having them come around with small morsels every 4 to 5 years and bribe you and have you succumb to that bribe. There is no prosperity, there is no success in taking that bribe. Because prosperity and the success we're talking about is something that's sustained. It's something that lasts over generations. But it has to start someplace. And we're going to show you some things today. We're going to talk about Magnitsky. We're going to talk about the Auditor General. And we're going to talk about the Prime Minister. In fact, I think, let me see. It's, for those of you who didn't get the flyer, it says that we're going to talk about whether or not Andrew Holness's election victory, in quotation marks, in West Central St. Andrew can survive an appeal. And what do we mean by that? We heard a lot of things coming out of that constituency. And some of us were witnesses to what took place. No sound, can't hear me? Mic. Okay, good. All right. So we're going to talk a little bit about it. I don't plan to stay on long tonight. OT is saying, no, that's something that's every week. And she and producer Joan, they were laughing at me today. So I hope to prove them wrong. But let me just start on a light note. How about this? You can call them the dollar bus or the $100 bus because it's $100 round trip. Even though the Minister Vaz at one point said it's like $20 or $30 per trip, so that would be $40 or $60 round trip, and then it changed to $100. Then it was free from the Prime Minister's mouth, at least in certain parishes, free. And then now we're hearing that they're giving them 2 months free. But this is what happened.
2 passengers coming out in a port marathon. And say, what I put in there? And now going to the bus. So look going to the bus. 100 bus. And now going to the bus. I was selling back to hotel about use car staff. Empty car out of Port Marathon. The bus, brother, and 2 you get from watch come here. 2 passengers coming out in a Port Marathon. And say, what I put in there? And now going to the bus. So look going to the bus. 100 bus. And now going to the bus. I was selling back to hotel about use car staff. Empty car out of Port Marathon. The bus, brother.
I don't know why the children won't ride the bus. I don't know. Maybe they got the word that the buses are unsafe. Negative impact on your health if you ride on them for 5 days a week for an extended period. Maybe they heard that. I don't know. But they're not. Apparently, it's not a big hit. And then Minister Vaz came out with a whole bunch of things saying that, remember what he said, the 110 buses, they're going to be in Jamaica by the end of July. And hold on a second. I think Kevin gave me something here recently where he said that the buses are not going to be in. Actually, he said that the buses are going to take 3 years for the program to be fully implemented. How many of you heard that?